Greetings. So, while we're getting all caught up on the big free agent signings, and before people say, well, why doesn't he do these all in one video? Because people don't want to hear about what everybody else is doing. You're a Nashville fan, right? Hey, if you're a Nashville fan, you're watching this. It's a good day. Now, 7 years, 56 million, 8 million a year. Do I think Duchene is worth that? If you hold my feet to the fire, my answer is going to be no. My answer is going to be he had a very good season. He had 70 points this year. I understand that's the going rate at 70 points, but he wasn't a 70-point forward for most of the seasons preceding this one. Guys who perform really well in a contract year, again, and I mentioned this in a video the past week, you've got to be careful, but again, it's the going rate. So I understand this is the price. And not only that, but Nashville definitely needed help down the middle. When you look at how Dallas knocked them out of the playoffs, that was definitely a problem. And while I'm not going to throw Johansen under the bus, I might make room for Turris there. And I like Kyle Turris a lot. Love Turris in Ottawa. I have not loved his work with Nashville. I think that adding Duchene means that Turris is even more likely to get moved. I would think sooner rather than later. And for a team that needs depth down the middle, Turris could be a good addition. What Duchene does is it means that Nashville will have a good 1-2. They will have a good first line, good second line. And this is going to be a pretty strong, I would think, year for and I don't want to say comeback because they did win their division, right? They got 100 points. And they were a President's Trophy winner last year. But it definitely felt like something was missing this year with Nashville. And a lot of those 100 points came in this one period where they looked unstoppable at the start of the year, and then they just kind of coasted that second half. So maybe bringing in Duchene will help. He is coming out of a run with Columbus where he looked pretty darn solid. Definitely his playoff run with Columbus didn't hurt his value on the market. That being said, even if Columbus had been swept in the first round, he probably still gets this contract from Nashville. So David Poile likely going, you know what, we've only got a limited amount of time with Pekka Rinne left. We have to maximize this, and you bring in Duchene. This is a contract that I would say 3 years from now, we're talking about how maybe he's overpaid, maybe he needs to be traded, whatever. But for today, for right now, and for this coming season, that's what GMs are looking at. The long-term picture is great, but for a team like Nashville, we've really got to win now, and this eats up a lot of the cap that was saved by trading out Subban. If you don't trade Subban, you can't make this signing work. So this is something I've talked about before, and people have railed against me for it, but there are times where a GM will trade somebody out and take back less than what they would probably be worth in most cases on the market. In this case, it would be Subban, and a few years ago, it was Taylor Hall. Hall got moved by the Oilers in part so they could sign Lucic. That now makes that look worse, doesn't it? But it's a risk, and it's a risk that I think got taken here, which was we'll trade out Subban, we're going to get Duchene, and that'll offset the cap, but we need to make that space. So that's where Nashville's at right now. We'll see if this helps them or it doesn't. Let me know in the comment section below if you think it does. Let me know why it does or it doesn't. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Does this make Nashville a contender? Were Nashville always a Stanley Cup contender? Let me know that as well. I'll talk to you guys again soon.